This Sports Blitz podcast is brought to you by LMG. Grow your business through logo design, paper products, and video production. Visit leemarketing.net to learn more.
Welcome to the Bradbury Medical Center Alabama Blitz. Luke Robinson here with you. Going to talk a little bit about football here for just a second. First of all, I want to say I heard some very good things today about Cooper Bateman, a guy I didn't think I'd hear very good things about, honestly. Heard some very good things about Bradley Bozeman from the Roanoke area. I mean, I'm surprised that some of these guys seem to be making a move. You hear some things during spring, and I always take spring practice news and notes with a grain of salt because things tend to change over the summer. But it is very good news to hear the name Bradley Bozeman. It really took me aback today about how strong he is and how well he's performing. So very happy for that young man. But the one thing I want to talk about here in the Bradbury Medical Center Alabama Blitz is scheduling. I don't think Brett and I will get a chance to talk about this as much as I want to. So I'm going to talk about it here and talk about who I want Alabama to schedule in the future. I don't know if you know this, but LSU just signed home-and-home series with UCLA and Arizona State. And to me, LSU's always done a fantastic job of some of these home-and-home series. I remember back in the 80s, I believe they had one with Florida State, or early 90s. They also had one with Miami at one time. They've done one with Washington. They've got one with Syracuse coming up. And I love that they open up this year in Houston at Reliant Stadium. They're going to play Wisconsin just like Alabama's going to do in Dallas the next year. I think it's great to have these neutral site games. I love them. At the same time, there is something very cool about the home-and-home series. I went to the Penn State series back when Alabama went up there in 2010. Had a blast. It was so much fun. Of course, this was before the Penn State scandal, so it probably made things a little bit more fun. But it's always fun to travel. I know a lot of people went to the Alabama-Notre Dame game back in the 80s, and they talk about how much fun that was. Alabama and Penn State had a rivalry at one time. One team that I would love for Alabama to schedule, and that's Washington. I think they've got one of the most scenic, beautiful views in all of college football. I'd love to go there. I went to UCLA back when Alabama played them in 2000. The result wasn't that great, but I loved being there at the Rose Bowl. It was just very unique, one of a kind. Of course, we've been there since then to play in the national championship game, but it was something special about playing UCLA there. And then it's even more fun when the team comes back to your place. I want Alabama to schedule Notre Dame again. I would love to see Alabama schedule Washington, as I mentioned, schedule Texas. Ole Miss and Texas had something going these past couple of seasons. I don't think there's any reason why Alabama and Texas can't do a home-and-home and give the fans a chance to go to some of these other college campuses. And instead of going to just Atlanta or going to Houston, I mean, those cities are fantastic. They're some of the largest cities in the United States. At the same time, there's something very awesome about going to Austin, Texas to check out a game. There'd be something very cool about going to Columbus, Ohio, or Ann Arbor, Michigan. Or I'm really disappointed that the home-and-home didn't work out with Michigan State. Alabama and Michigan State had that planned. It was called off. I understand it's probably because there are going to be some other neutral site games. I get that. At the same time, it would have been a lot of fun to go to East Lansing and see what that campus is all about. You get to see it on game day on ESPN, but you don't get to go up there and get up close and personal with it and then welcome them back when they come to your place. Because it would be cool to have some fans come here that aren't necessarily SEC fans. We all are pro-SEC whenever somebody's trying to attack one of the conference teams, but within the conference, we all hate each other. And when the other fans come here, or when Alabama fans go somewhere else, everybody's egging one another. I think it'd be fun to have Michigan State fans, Penn State fans, Notre Dame fans, UCLA fans come here and welcome them. It is more of an interesting dynamic to see that fan interaction. That's just one thing I wanted to talk about here on the Bradbury Medical Center Alabama Blitz, because I don't think Brett and I will get to talk about it because it was interesting to segue off the Texas A&M rivalry that isn't anymore and that should be. Well, that's going to do it for the Bradbury Medical Center Alabama Blitz. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sports Blitz Live.